Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lyceum. I'm your host, Liam, aka Hemvar, and today I'm doing my weekly update. This is Liam's Leapings 41 for May 27th, 2023. This one will be really short because I have an engagement, a date in EverQuest in literally like 2 minutes, so I'll probably be late. But with my brother, actually, the Oakwind server came out. It's a new timeline progression server for EverQuest, and we played already on Wednesday, and that was. I don't know. EverQuest is just so much fun compared to basically it. Maybe not like I wouldn't say it's better, but like just it's not like any other MMO. Maybe a little bit like Ultima and like the fun you can just have with it in just such a simple way. Anyways, that's kind of off topic because I normally talk about books, huh? Um, my reading has been pretty poor as far as fiction goes, which won't surprise you. It's kind of how it's been for a couple weeks. I did finish The King of Elfland's Daughter by Lord Dunsany. I really enjoyed it, actually. I'm probably going to reread it here soon because I'm going to do a report on it for class. I did finally get my copy of Rakefire and Other Stories by Jason Ray Carney. It's kind of hard to come by, but some seller had a bunch of copies, so I've also been reading a bunch of other stuff. Like I finished Old Moon issue 3, which I already put back on the shelf, but I came out with a review for that already. They asked me to do a review. I didn't mention that in my review. I normally don't, but I already had a copy, so I was already planning on reading it anyways. I've read some more of Britain After Rome. I've done actually a decent amount of studies this week, so I've kept on top of my homework. I did a lot of philological and codicological studies this week, which makes me feel good as well. It also makes me feel mediocre, right? Because like I sit here and I don't know. In some ways, it makes me feel like I'm doing more work than a lot of my classmates, um, but I don't have anything to like. Like I still work a job. I'm very grateful to have, but doesn't make I don't make great money by any means, and I want to be doing a job that I would enjoy. Right? Like I don't know. So I do. I technically, if anyone wants me to copy edit their stories, I've only done short stories, but we can talk about it. And I can go pretty cheap. I actually did copy editing for Christopher Rocchio. So if you keep up on his short stories, I think the only one that's been released so far is Daughter of Swords. I did the copy editing for that, um, but copy editing is pretty straightforward. It's important though. Um, but I also read a couple of the articles in this issue of Journal of English and Germanic Philology. I read The Phoenix and the Interlingual Dimensions of Early English Literary Culture by Alexandra Ryder. Actually, really cool. She shares the last 10 lines from The Phoenix, and so I actually recorded those, and they'll come up for Poetry Thursday in late June sometime. Late June, I believe, about a month from now. And then I also read the next one, Raising the Roof in Cadman's Hymn by Thomas D. Hill, Charles D. Wright, and Thomas N. Hall. I was not going to read the third one, but it starts with a quote from Tom Shippey, so now I have to. And then the fourth one I'll probably read as well. I've read some of John D. Ratliff's, I don't know how he says it again. History of the Hobbit. So very little. I read more last week. I'm not that far into it at all. But I am enjoying that. I read a short story called Cathedral by Raymond Carver. I read other short stories, but that was one worth mentioning. I thought it was actually pretty decent. I am reading a book. I actually have it in my backpack right here. So let me mention. I did read a little bit more Between Princesses and Other Jobs by DJ Butler. I actually mentioned it in the next column I'm writing for the Big Canoe News, because I'm writing journal article, newspaper column now every other month. I haven't finished it yet, but I don't need to finish it to say what I want to say. But I am going to plan. I do plan on finishing it. But I'll get that to you soon, actually, Steve, if you're watching. But I read some of Hengist's Tale by Jill Patton Walsh. So I read I read Tom Shippey's newest book last year. I finished it on like Halloween, I think. Oh, it's Bede's Death Day, by the way, and it was Altom's Death Day yesterday. So that'll be yesterday by the time you watch this, anyways. But she was actually tutored by Tolkien, and there is a kind of like something that like rectifies this idea of the story of Finn and Hengist in Beowulf. and Swinsburg fragment. Um, that Tolkien's ideas are not well known, but they are explored in Finn and Hengist, his book published after his death. And but the same idea is actually in this book, and so supposedly, since she was tutored by Tolkien, because she's like the niece, I think, of his editor, um, that she got her ideas probably from Tolkien. It's actually like a juvenile novel, which is interesting, and there's art in it as well. I'm not very far in at all, but I'm enjoying it. It's first-person accounting, that seems like, of Hengist on his deathbed. So it says, a haunting, tragic tale told by Hengist the Brave of Finn, the legendary Frisian prince, and the bitter feud between Danes, uh, Jutes, and Frisians in the days long before the Norman conquest. So I'm really enjoying this, but I'm not very far into it. Again, I've read so little; it makes me feel mediocre. The fact that I don't have a good job and doing what I want to do kind of makes me feel mediocre. But it is nice to learn things. I feel really productive when I learn things, and really productive when I do read a lot of stuff. Because I have these reviews I come out with, and hopefully those are productive for some things. And I write some things. I have some stories published and other things published. I have a blog that I am still decently keeping on top of after several years. So I mean, like, oops, I clicked. Sorry. So yeah, I guess stay positive. I don't know. It's been a weird few weeks. It's been really cloudy the last few days too. Rain's off, but yeah. What have y'all been up to this week? Yeah. I